All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Jayden Daniels for Heisman Golden Boot Special. Chris, tonight is a special night for me. I may have just screwed up our intro, but I don't even care at this point. We are about to let you know why we believe Jayden Daniels is going to win the Heisman Trophy. Chris, how are you
Well,
tonight?
I'm doing great, but I have to interrupt you. We actually have some major breaking news right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's what we've been waiting all week for. Jim Harbaugh has held a press conference tonight, and we have the live video, the video that was taken from the press conference. Everybody, we got to get this out there. Here's Jim Harbaugh talking about the situation in Michigan.
Thank you, everyone, for coming and allowing me to address this. The rumors are true. We have been scouting some other teams, but how was I supposed to know that was illegal? We Michigan men do anything we can to get ahead, even if it may seem dirty. I'd like to remind you all that in spite of recent minor success, I am still 1-6 in bowl games and 2-5 against the Ohio State University. I'm just doing what I can to drag this sorry program out of the mud. Thank you, everyone, for coming and allowing me to address this. The rumors are true.
My good, he admitted it, man.
Clear as day.
Clear as day, admitted it. Oh my gosh, that's huge. That is huge.
Right. Should we tell them the truth?
I mean,
there are people that are going to run with that.
You mean that's not real?
AI is a hell of a thing. Oh man, that's some good stuff right there. Man, the whole Jim Harbaugh thing is just crazy right now, and it's a crazy time, and I'm very curious to see how that plays out. But that being said, I'm much more curious to see how the rest of the season plays out for the LSU Tigers with Jayden Daniels as quarterback, who has, to be perfectly honest, surpassed all expectations. Last year he comes in, he had a semi-slow start, but then just picked it up week after week after week. You can see his work ethic.
Yep.
Off-season comes, goes to the Elite 11, does a lot of private training, works his butt off, and guess what? He looks like a stud. Comes in the first game of the season, Florida State, puts up great numbers, but still kind of looked a little But since then, there has been no question in the man's game.
Mm-hmm.
Top to bottom, he has literally been almost a perfect quarterback. And as you can see scrolling at the bottom of our screen right there, it has his stat numbers. He is literally 3 yards shy from being number one in passing yards in the country. He leads the nation in touchdown passes. He only has 3 picks, 91 carries, 521 yards. That leads all quarterbacks, 5 rushing touchdowns. So he's accounted for 30 total touchdowns already. Yep. If I'm not mistaken, last time LSU had a Heisman winner at quarterback, through 8 games, I'm pretty sure he didn't have 30 total touchdowns.
He actually had 33.
Was he at 33 already? Okay.
I've actually got these stats pulled up. Let me share.
Oh wait, I was looking at the 7-game total.
So let me share them with you. So these are some interesting numbers. His 30 total touchdowns are tied for the lead in the NCAA with Caleb Williams. But his 30 touchdowns through 8 games stands second behind only 33 by Joe Burrow in LSU history. He leads the country in passing efficiency and passing yards per attempt. The passing yards per attempt are actually a full yard better than who surprisingly is number 2, which is Jalen Milroe. Daniels is at 11.7. Milroe's at 10.6. He's one of only 2 players nationally to throw and run for a touchdown in the same game 4 different times. But when you compare his numbers to Joe Burrow, I mean, he is right there.
He is. Very much so.
He's right there. And you notice, he had roughly 300 more yards passing, but he also had roughly 30 more attempts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Joe Burrow had more attempts passing than Daniels, but the numbers are right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean the biggest number
in
really
fact, rushing yards, he's got him by 400 yards.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, really the big thing that sticks out here to me is the only difference really is Joe Burrow having that 6 percentage points higher in completion percentage, which, I mean, rightfully so. I mean, look at who he was throwing to in 19. I mean, it was scary.
Right.
And even the backups were great. So, I mean.
And that's another interesting point is Malik Neighbors has more yards receiving than either one of the receivers did in 2019.
Mm-hmm. Sure does. And then you have Brian Thomas Jr., who leads the nation in touchdown receptions. So I mean, it's a special year again. I mean, obviously, it's hard to say at this point. Oh well, LSU's a great offense; they're going to win the national championship. Blah blah blah. Can't say that. We can't. I mean, could they make the playoff? Anything's possible right now. Am I saying they are? No, I'm not. I'm not going to say that because 2 losses right now, unfortunately, that hurts. And that's the one argument that a lot of people have against Jayden and his Heisman candidacy is they have 2 losses. Okay. Have you ever seen Jayden Daniels line up at safety? I haven't. Line up at corner? No. I mean, he doesn't play defense. He does all he can on the offense. He literally provides everything that needs to be provided to win games. He can't do it on both sides of the ball. And I think that is something that serious voters are definitely they know that. And we have past players that have won it in pretty much the same situation.
And so far, the LSU offense is averaging 48.3 points a game. In 2019, for the entire season, they averaged just over 47 points per game.
There you go.
So
now I'm not going to say that this team's offense is better than 19's. I will not say that because overall well-roundedness, that team was so scary that I don't think I will ever see that again in my lifetime. Just because that just happened to be the perfect fit in every aspect.
Yep.
I've never seen that happen before because, I mean, I'm only 33, so obviously my years of watching football, like in a serious, like I truly understand it, is a lot different. So, you know, in my lifetime, though, I mean, yes, 2007 LSU, great team. 2011 LSU, great team. 2003 LSU, great team. I would say that defensively they were very strong. Offensively, they were still very good, but they were not what you're seeing right now. And I'm blown away with what we've seen so far. Oh, here we go. Mr. Tony Thomas says Texas A&M finished 2 losses with Manziel, and he won the Heisman. His Heisman moment was the win over Bama. Exactly. And that's what Jayden Daniels has his chance for in 2 weeks. And Jayden got that last year. If that exact moment from last season happened this season, 1,000% would give him the Heisman Trophy because that was the coolest ending.
Yep. So I've seen a lot of discussion about Jayden Daniels throwing a deep ball. He's not an accurate passer, and his balls are not well placed. I found this to be interesting as well. On passes, 20-plus yards or more thrown this season. He leads the country with 24 completions. In 20-yard passes, he's at 66% completion percentage, first in the country. With 15 touchdowns, it's also first in the country. No interceptions on deep balls. And a 149.3 passer rating, which is also first in the country. While his ball might not be a pretty ball, nobody cares about that because he's making plays.
Exactly. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, though. His passes are pretty dang beautiful, though. That Mississippi State game, everything he threw was a beautiful dime. I mean, you couldn't see – you would never find better than that. But, you know, obviously his biggest challenge of the season will definitely be Alabama's defense. And I'm very excited to see how that happens. I know that – I guess really so far this year, best secondaries we've seen would be Florida State, and then you have Missouri, who is a very respectable secondary. Arkansas secondary played us hard, but it didn't work out. Ole Miss, their secondary was nothing really. I mean, obviously you saw the total yards in that game, but I mean, every game though, it's like it doesn't matter who the defenders are. Jayden Daniels is just looking comfortable, and I feel like when the pressure is turned up, he looks his best. And sure, like the end of the Ole Miss game, there was a little bit of a slowdown, but I don't think that was on Jayden. I think that was more on the play calling. I think LSU was trying to I think they're trying to run the play clock down rather than rush down and score. And I get that idea, and unfortunately it backfired on them. But I mean, overall though, Jayden Daniels, man, he's that guy, and that's why I'll show this graphic. He is him. Jayden is him.
One of the things people like to bring up is that he wasn't very good against Florida State. He actually had more yards than Jordan Travis did.
Yeah.
But the problem in that game was in the second quarter, LSU had taken the lead, and they were winning the ball game. And he tried to jump over the defensive line, and he took a shot to the ribs.
Yes.
And was injured in that game, and it changed the way he was playing the game.
It did. That is very true.
Against Missouri, he took a shot. It wasn't a dirty shot or nothing, but he did take a shot to the ribs, and he actually had to sit out a series in that game and came back to finish and brought his team from behind.
I think he got mad at that injury, though.
Yeah,
I really do. He wanted that one, and honestly, God's truth, when you really look back at that, that's a Heisman moment.
Yeah, to come back from an injury after sitting out a series and bringing your team back from being behind on the road. I don't know how you can't say. How do you say that's not a Heisman moment?
Absolutely. And Tony's point right here is very true. That ball went right through Chris Hilton's hands, unfortunately. And Chris Hilton has really good hands too, and that was just a shame. That being said, a little off topic, but not really. Chris Hilton will be coming back for LSU very soon. He's had an injury. That kid is one of the fastest wide receivers I have ever seen. I mean, he's seriously, I feel like he's got like engines built inside of him because the kid flies. So definitely a kid to keep your eye on. But yeah, he's a good target to have. Kyron Lacey's actually had to step up, and Kyron Lacey was a transfer, and he was kind of the third man at receiver, but he was kind of just lost in the shuffle. Like he just wasn't doing enough to, it just, I don't know, it just messed him up. And he finally got back in to the groove. And obviously it was the Army game, but he looked good. He's really looked good the last few weeks. But, and like Tony said, on that play, and he hurt his ankle. Yeah, it was very unfortunate because, he's very much needed for us. But yeah, so people are probably wondering who are these guys? Because there may be new viewers tonight that have never seen us before. And we are the Golden Boot Podcast. We air on Friday nights, 8:30 Central Time. We also air on Mondays. That'll be starting officially this coming Monday. We'll be airing at 8:30 Central Time as well. So what we do is we talk football. We bring some humor. We have some fun. We try not to, we don't really use a lot of profanity or anything like that. We try to be pretty family friendly overall. But we're not afraid to have fun. Have a few little lewd jokes here and there. But what we're going to do on Fridays, it's going to be we're going to break down what just happened. We're going to be previewing the weekend. And then on Mondays, we'll be breaking down what we saw over the weekend. And our viewership has grown, and it's not to boast or brag or anything like that. We're very grateful for all the views that we've had, and it's just grown and grown each show. And we decided, hey, we're staying on here long. We're getting old, and we get tired pretty easily. So we're going to shorten the shows up a little bit and do 2 shows. We think it'll be a good move for us. So we really hope you guys will come and join us. We usually have George Hancock on here. He is on his way. I do know that. When he joins, I don't know. He normally is the lead of us in terms of hosting. I kind of just took the ball and ran with it tonight because for some reason this year, I've accepted the fact I'm a towel boy for about a bunch of people. So
part of the reason we decided to go live tonight is I made a statement last night, and I've caught some grief for that over the past 24 hours. But I said, sometimes you can be a great college player and not have the tools that people deem necessary to be a great quarterback. And I used the example of Tim Tebow. He wasn't your quintessential quarterback.
He was.
But what he did, he fit the college game and he made plays.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what Jayden Daniels does. He fits the college game and he makes plays, even if he isn't what people see as a prototypical quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I caught some grief over that. I stand by what I said. That I'm not comparing the two together. I'm just comparing the circumstances.
The circumstances are very similar. The two players are totally different. So,
right.
Tim Tebow, you literally had a tight end playing quarterback that can happen, ball down the field and move the ball. And then you got Jayden Daniels, who's essentially built like a wide receiver that can burn you with his legs, and he just happens to have a heck of an arm on him. So, it's two different types of players that bring two different types of impacts to a game. Tim Tebow is one of the greatest overall athletes at quarterback I've ever seen, and he will always go down in history for that. He's one of the greatest human beings on the planet. But,
right.
I do agree with this comparison. I think it's spot on. I do. Another thing about us too, while we're kind of talking about it, we also we have another show that we do. It's called the Golden Broom Show. That was actually our flagship show. We talk college baseball. As you can see, I'm obviously an LSU fan. I've been an LSU fan since I was born. Chris is a Vanderbilt fan. George's an Arkansas fan. We like to talk baseball. We don't just talk SEC baseball. We get pretty heavy on it, but we do like to go national with it and also give Group of 5 teams as well as much publicity as we can, because those guys deserve it. They play hard, and after this year's College World Series, that told us everything we needed to see. And so we're on this journey. We're having a good time, and we would love you guys to join us. But
I was actually following the Penn inter-squad scrimmage today, and if anybody remembers college baseball this past year, Penn actually went into Auburn, and didn't they win that regional? Yeah, I think they did. They came down to Auburn and won a regional. Good little Group of 5 team that we like to watch.
Absolutely.
We get out there nationally when we're covering college baseball. We like to do things national with football as well. Again, we do tend to get SEC heavy because we're all SEC fans, but we like to cover everything. And as an example, on our Friday night shows, we've kind of gotten into following the Brian Ferentz AI videos that have been on Twitter. Found a great channel that makes those things. And I don't know if I have the newest one loaded up in here or not. Give me just a second. But yeah, I don't have the new one. It'll take me about 20 seconds to load this thing. But we've got the newest Brian Ferentz AI video. If you've been following along, these things they're AI. They're not real. But they're absolutely great humor. And they've been putting them out every week. As you know, he's got to score 325 points on the season, or average 25 points per game for the Iowa's offense. Well, it's become kind of a joke because their punter has more offensive yards than their offense does.
Punter's the goat.
Here's the latest in Brian Ferentz. Sit back, enjoy this, because you're going to spit your drink out laughing at it.
Over the years, some have knocked our style of football, saying it plays to the level of competition. There may be some truth to that. Unfortunately, this week, it seems that philosophy has also permeated the officiating crew who tried their best to match the quality of our offense. Oh shit, I'm not even supposed to be out here this week. Over the years, some have knocked our style of football.
Not supposed to be here.
I know. What's up, guys?
What's up, buddy?
Hi, George.
Man, I am. I'm currently sitting at a red light right now, listening in. I just got done at church and couldn't miss this for the world, guys. What have I missed? Catch me up.
Jayden Daniels for Heisman.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you missed. No,
He missed the breaking news.
you did
Oh,
miss the
did I?
breaking news. You missed some
I
breaking
did.
news. Cody.
Yeah. I know. I know that. I feel like there is breaking news that may have been shared already. I did catch a tail end of that. Well, that's big. And shame on Michigan because that's bad. They finally admitted it though, right?
That's right.
I mean,
Oh man. Well, I know that Facebook's having some issues and some different things, but hey, we're gonna keep going. And I figured I'd join you guys for a minute. Man, so Jayden Daniels for Heisman. I mean, what better player, honestly, in my opinion, than Jayden Daniels right now? Michael Penix had a bad game last week, and it showed, right? So
he's had 2 bad games in the last 3 weeks.
Yep.
yeah, you're right. And
He had the game against, was it Arizona, that he didn't
Yeah.
even throw a touchdown pass?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that right there is something that sticks out to me. Jayden Daniels hadn't fallen off. It is not his fault that the defense cannot be up to par and keep players from scoring. That's
Absolutely.
not Jayden Daniels' responsibility. He is just doing what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do what he needs to do. In my mind, why should that matter? I don't care if they lose another game. If his stats stay up there and he's able to make plays and do whatever. And the argument is, and I'll just say this, the argument is that Jayden Daniels should not have let their team lose, right? He should have made some unrealistically crazy comeback, over the top NFL player like play to get them in a situation where they wouldn't have lost. And my argument is, okay, I mean, I hear you there. Not everybody has to be Superman. And if memory serves me right, not every time the Heisman has been given, they've been Superman. All right. Tim Tebow, okay, was a fantastic college player. Look at what he did in the NFL.
Right.
Yep.
So if you want to take it and say, well, he's not deserving of the Heisman because I don't think he deserves to be in the NFL, that should have nothing to do with anything. It should be what he's doing on the field. And right now, his stats and his touchdown interception ratio and what he's doing, his rushing yards, is Heisman caliber. Period. End of story. No, you see his stats down at the bottom. There is no question this man should not be going to New York.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, George, I have to ask you a serious question. Are you about to pump gas without even looking?
Do what? I can't. Now I can't hear you. Hang on. Let me get back in here. Now I can't hear you because apparently my decision to get out of the car was not a good one.
No, I thought you were about to pump gas without even looking.
No.
I'm
about to get Sonic for me and the little girl because we hadn't ate supper yet. But I had to jump on here and give my 2 cents. So
Well, it's a very
You're
serious
doing Sonic
conversation.
wrong, though, sir.
do what?
You're doing Sonic wrong. Just pull up in the booth and hit the little red button and order it and let them bring it out on roller skates.
I know, but we got people from church that wants to eat. See, that's how that works.
I
So
get
we're
it.
sitting out in a nice 75-degree night, about to eat some food. So
What's your favorite Sonic, though? That's the most important question here.
right. Well, what am I going to order?
Hmm?
Ooh, honestly, and I've been doing this kind of thing. I like the bacon cheeseburger toaster
Those are good.
without the barbecue sauce. Add
Okay.
mayonnaise
Okay, respect.
and no tomato because
All
it's a really good sandwich. But I didn't really want the barbecue sauce, so
What's the kiddo get?
usually she gets a cheeseburger meal. She's either cheeseburger or chicken, one of the two.
I personally, I usually get 2 foot-long chili cheese dogs, and then I get me a chili cheese tot.
Ooh, I like it.
A chocolate shake. And I'm usually hungry when I'm done.
I like it.
See, you're just making me feel bad because I only get 1 foot long chili cheese dog. And then I get the tots.
I mean,
covered in cheese.
Hey, we can't all be winners. It's okay.
And then I'll get the cookie dough blast.
Yeah.
And then if you haven't had it, for my drink that I drink with my meal, vanilla root beer.
Yeah.
That's smart, actually. I'm going to have to do that one next time. Actually, I like a good root beer float.
It's pretty good, man.
Yep.
What do you think? What do you think Jayden Daniels orders at Sonic?
Ooh, well, so this is interesting though. He's from California.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's an In-N-Out burger guy. I
Yeah.
don't think he's on a crazy diet. I think that honestly, I think he's gonna go for like a slush with the nerds in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see him doing that, like a grape slush with the nerds, and then entree wise, you know what? Just give me a cheeseburger, man.
Yeah. Right.
No. Popcorn chicken. He's gonna be
Popcorn chicken.
That is what he's gonna eat.
That's then. Okay. I like it. Y'all jump in the comments and let us know what your favorite Sonic meal is. I know this is going off the rails, but hey,
it is what it is.
It is what it is, man. Oh yeah, Sonics don't have the skaters. I know they don't. They don't hear either. They don't hear either.
What?
Chris, where's your cat?
Yeah, where is the cat?
It's hiding from my fork.
Yeah.
I heard the cat before the show started.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys, our life's about to change.
Whoa.
Hey.
Want to offer you a promotion. The price is lower than the compare. Oh my goodness. Okay. Thank you so much, Twitch.
Spam comment from Twitch, I'll take
it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have more breaking news.
We do.
Our first Twitch comment.
I know. Golly.
I'm telling you, man.
It's amazing. I'll tell you. Well,
I like Mexican
street corn.
So here,
man, I tell you, it's a beautiful night where I am. Missouri, for some reason, is not cold. It's in the 70s here, so
yeah,
that's kind of why we decided on Sonic, and the fact that there's nothing else open. So
this comment though, it bothers me.
What bothers you?
I have been going to Sonic.
Don't have skaters.
I have never seen a skater at Sonic before.
Dude, they used to be all the time. That was a Sonic thing.
So here's the thing. Did that. So, as you guys know, I have twin daughters.
Yeah.
That have worked their way up. They started out as car hops when they were in high school. They're now in their upper 20s and have worked their way into management.
Right.
One has her own store in Central Florida. And they started out on skates. The daughter in Florida that has her own store still wears skates to this day. Sonic actually has skating competitions annually.
Yeah.
And she actually participates at. She finished in the top 5 nationally this year skating. And her store finished in the top 12, being one of the top 12 stores in the nation.
Wow. So I have to address this comment right here. There are many things in life that I'll tolerate, but I do not tolerate a liar.
She doesn't need one, just a cheeseburger and some
This is a lie.
Yeah.
He knows it.
You notice he rephrased that and put the word cat at the end of it.
Of course. I can see Tony being a tater tot guy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, I just want to come on and give my take on here. Go ahead, Chris. What?
Tony is an LSU fan, right?
Yes.
So does he get the corn dogs with the tater tots? And what does he put on the tater tots? Are they loaded? Are they plain? Cheese?
Oh man, loaded tater tot sounds good. I'm gonna do that here in just a minute.
Hey, I like the corn dog. 50-cent corn dog day. Oh man.
Yeah, all day.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, guys, I'm gonna hop off here. Oh my gosh. But I just want to give on and jump in here, and man, it looks great. I love it. And hey, if he wins the Heisman, I am not going to be mad about it. Let me tell you. And I think it should happen. So kudos to y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. Hey, Friday night, Golden Boot. I know y'all are going to say that, but Friday night, Golden Boot podcast. It's going to be our first actual preview show. It's not going to be as long as the normal one because, we got our first Monday show coming up. Our recap show.
Old, so we get tired. So
do what?
I said we're getting old and
we get tired.
We need to get
I mean,
George
it
is
is
a young one here.
All right, guys. Well, I'll holler at you later. Y'all have a good show.
Have a good
All
one.
right. Later, George.
Later.
Man. Well, that was fun. That was a good appearance by him. But yeah, so let's get back to the topic at hand here. Jayden Daniels, man. He so when you compare him to, let's say, his top contender, I guess you could say right now, is Michael Penix Jr. Okay, put them next to each other. They're very similar guys. They really are. They both have good receivers to throw to. Penix doesn't necessarily run the ball as much as Jayden does, but the one thing I can give Penix props for, I think overall he has played better defenses to this point. I will give him that.
So the only detraction I would have from that is Army and Grambling, but at the same stretch, didn't Washington play? Aren't they the ones that play Portland State every year?
Yeah. So yeah, they have their scrub games, but okay. So let's say Florida State versus Oregon defense-wise, who would you take?
Probably Florida State.
Okay. I would take Oregon, but I do get that. Are you entering the transfer portal?
I don't think so.
Okay, there you go. It just froze for a second. I was like, no. Okay, so Tony's comment right here. This right here. Okay, LSU plays both USC and UCLA next year. Not only that, they also have Oklahoma on the schedule, Alabama on the schedule. That is one heck of a gauntlet next year. For the first year without Jayden Daniels, whew.
But guess who they have back?
Garrett Nussmeier.
Will that be his Heisman coming out?
I'm not going to go that far with him yet. And the reason I say
if he goes 2-0 against USC and UCLA,
it looks good. It does.
Right.
That being said, that quarter, seeing Dante Moore in his sophomore year against Garrett Nussmeier, that's going to be fun.
No, that'll be a fun ball game for sure.
My God. I really wish that schedule was this year, though. Only because I would have loved to have seen this LSU team versus USC this year. Because I, to this day, say they are the exact same team. And you cannot prove me wrong. Because, literally, I swear that they call each other the night before and say, all right, here's the game plan. Let's do this.
The difference, though, is one quarterback has a game with, 3 interceptions? The other one don't?
Yeah. Okay, so to address this right here, no, this is technically his 5th year. So, because he's had 2 at LSU, he had 3 at Arizona State, including the COVID year. So, yeah, this is it for him, unfortunately. And honestly, the way he's playing, I feel like, I know people try to say he's not going to translate to the NFL. I call BS on that. I think someone will pick him up, no problem. I think that, and if all else fails, let's say he doesn't make a roster, he'll shine in the USFL.
Yeah.
It'd be no problem for him. He has a good football future.
For that matter, go to Canada.
Absolutely.
Play in the CFL.
Yeah.
Because the CFL actually plays to his strength.
Absolutely. But I really think that Jayden's an NFL caliber quarterback, and very worst case scenario could translate over to a wide receiver. I think Jayden is just a good athlete, and I think there will be a spot in the NFL for him regardless. So, when it comes to the Heisman, though, you have another guy they talk about, Dylan Gabriel, who is doing good things for Oklahoma this year. The biggest downfall for him is they just don't really play anybody.
No competition.
Yeah, and it's a shame. I mean, the Texas win is great. And that was a great moment for Dylan Gabriel at the end. Like, that was just, I mean, that was a fantastic game. That being said, I need a tougher schedule for Oklahoma. That's the only thing I feel that's holding him back from having that, shine per se. And then you go to Bo Nix, and he didn't necessarily play bad against Washington. And I feel like he's still in the conversation, whether people want to admit it or not. And if you go away from Bo Nix,
I mean, you got
Jordan Travis is out.
You got to keep Caleb Williams in the discussion.
Absolutely, absolutely.
He's a very good college quarterback. Some of the things that you see about him are questionable. I mean, he's 4-7 against teams with winning records.
Yeah,
see that
but
right?
That's not necessarily his fault. I mean, the biggest problem that he has, and Joe Klatt said it today. He said that receivers get down the field, but they don't get enough space. They just can't create space. So he has to run around with the ball, and he makes his mistakes. And it's not necessarily his fault. He's essentially running for his life.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that Caleb Williams is a special talent. I've said nothing but praise on him. At the Elite 11 over the summer, Caleb Williams finished first, Jayden Daniels finished second, and there was nothing but praise for both guys.
Mm-hmm.
And even the people talking about him were even saying that Jayden's improvement is really catching up. But, I mean, with Caleb Williams, though, I mean, my God, I mean, out of high school, I mean, everybody wanted him. He was actually heavily considering LSU for a long time. Mm-hmm. But, you saw how that worked out.
So the one I don't agree with right now being a candidate, and I don't understand where it seems like it popped up overnight, is J.J. McCarthy. I mean, he's not even the best player on that team. That falls in the hands of Blake Corum.
Is Blake Corum even the best?
Because you got the backup running back that puts up the same numbers.
I feel like Edwards does all the heavy lifting, and then Corum gets the glory by getting it in the end zone.
There we go. Settled.
Agreed.
It's over.
Agreed. There it is. But yeah, I mean, right now, when I really look at it on paper, like when I want to think of, hey, who's the real competition for him in this hunt? Okay, let's go to other position players. Name a running back that's really done something so consistent where they stick out. I would say Cody Schrader is a guy you can mention in this conversation. I feel like he hasn't necessarily – I guess he hadn't really had like a big Heisman moment yet. I feel like he's not like a household name yet, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But he's done great things. I mean, those of us that follow SEC football, we see it. I mean, the kid is a stud. Great story. I mean, my God, he would be the perfect person to win a Heisman Trophy just because of his story alone. And he's obviously a great running back. Outside of him, though, no other running backs really taking that next step. Ray Davis is having a great season for Kentucky, but it's not Heisman worthy at this point. Yeah. And then outside of that, Blake Corum, he's not really producing the numbers you want to see. I mean, I just cannot think of – I mean, you got Bucky Irving at Oregon, who is a great running back. But, again, it's not enough. So I feel like the running back is eliminated from the Heisman picture this year, unfortunately, unless you have a guy that hits like 500 yards 2 games in a row. So
what about a punter?
I mean, hey, at the end of the day,
it sounds like a joke, but when you have guys like Matthew Hayball and Torrey Taylor that are as valuable to their team as what those two guys are, do you throw them in that mix?
I mean,
I don't know that I do, but
no.
I mean,
I don't think I can. I think that only because I don't consider a punter an offensive-minded player necessarily. I feel like they kind of play for the defense in a way. They're really they're the purgatory of football.
But is the Heisman actually for an offensive player?
No, it's not.
By definition, it's the best player.
Yeah.
So I'd never say a punter is the best player unless they're downfield
No.
making tackles and, shooting a gun as a gunner or something after they punt. But
Sure.
I don't
Now,
think they're legitimate campaigns.
I could see a kicker one day making it to New York. I really could. I want to see a kid come in, and I think if you see a kid come in and he has like 6+ field goals of 50+ yards and all that, absolutely, like send him to New York. I want to see a kicker have a perfect season and have like 30+ field goal attempts. Like, I want to see that one day. Oh my gosh, I see that comment. I know you see it too. So Chris, you gonna get you gonna let Marla smash a pumpkin over your head?
I'm not smashing pumpkins for views. I'm just not doing it.
My question is this though. Okay, and this is a serious question right here, because let's have some fun for a second. Okay, so what people may not know, Mr. Kenny Ingram is a member of College Football Dawgs. He is, I don't know how you describe him, but he's a great guy.
Enigmatic.
That's a good word. There it is. And he is going to be smashing a pumpkin over his head for the Halloween special show next week. And while that is fine and dandy, I don't think that's fair. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to have enough force doing it to yourself. I feel like you need someone to come and do it for him to get the real effect. If you want to see this pumpkin smashed on his head, I'm using this little toy little hammer thing. If you want to see it really smashed on his head, you got to have someone else do it. And also, another thing, you take the guts out of the pumpkin before you smash it over your head to have more of a success rate.
Yeah. Because it's going to smash a whole lot easier if it's hollow.
Because I feel like if he goes with the guts in it, I feel like that he's not only going to knock himself unconscious, but he might actually have to go to the hospital.
Do we need to make this pay-per-view?
Oh, absolutely. This would be the greatest. If we had a Patreon, oh my gosh. Oh, no. Man. And then he's going to be bobbing for apples, and that's going to be fun to see.
Can you imagine the Auburn fan trying to catch apples underwater?
You're going to see it just spinning around. I hear your cat there trying to make it. How does your cat know that Hunter is in the comments is my question.
That's a good question. Now, what it is Marla decided to break out one of her snacks.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows when it's snack time, and you reach and get that snack, and she just goes absolutely berserk.
Absolutely. Well, I want to say right now, just from the numbers that we can see, we have a really good amount of viewers right now, and that's really nice to see. I'm glad that people are tuning in for.
Yep.
Why are they saying Jayden for Heisman? I'm very, very. That makes me very happy to see, and we really appreciate that tonight.
Yep.
But get in the comments.
Especially on the Wednesday night, church night, people out doing family stuff. We just appreciate it. By the way, if you're watching this, go like us on. We have Golden Sports Media on YouTube. We have College Football Dawgs on YouTube. Go like and follow us, subscribe. Follow us on all the socials, College Football Dawgs and Golden Boot or Golden Media. Give us likes and follows. Comment as much as you can. We love the interactions, and that's how we're going to grow this thing is word of mouth. Tell your friends about us.
Absolutely. And this right here is she's our mascot. This is Lottie. She turned 5 months old today somehow. I can't believe that we've had her that long. No. My wife said she wants to have one more, and I say absolutely not. I will be getting a snip surgery.
My mom's watching this, and I said, "Raise it up."
No, I hope your parents are watching right now, just so they can get on to you for that. But yeah, this is Lottie. She's a big LSU fan, likes to watch the games with me.
Is she a Taylor Swift fan though?
God, no. No.
She is.
Which, okay, if Lottie had to choose, is she taking Taylor Swift or the Moonshine Bandits and Moccasin Creek?
She would take Miss Rachel,
Okay.
to be perfectly honest. But yeah, old Lottie here. She had to make an appearance because someone decided they didn't want to go to bed tonight. So she is just going to be a chillin'. She's usually a pretty good baby until she sees her mom walk across and gets really angry. But we'll see how long that lasts.
Right.
She is definitely for the Jayden for Heisman campaign. I've actually been saying Jayden for Heisman for about a month now at least?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, and and I get a lot of flack for it, and I'm fine with that. I breathe on hate. I love it.
So I've actually got another LSU fan that's saying that Brian Kelly needs to be fired, and he wants LSU to lose every game so they can fire Brian Kelly because he don't like Brian Kelly. Now,
a lot of people don't like him, and I am not one of those people. He's warming up on me. For me, it's hard to get used to someone that's not Coach O at this point, just because Coach O was literally Louisiana, like as simple as that. Like, I mean, you don't get no better than that. And then, fortunately, the program just did not go in the right direction, and it had to be done. But he gave us the best season we ever had, and I'm very thankful for that. But at the end of the day, though, if it wasn't for Brian Kelly, we wouldn't have Jayden Daniels in LSU uniform right now. Right. So I will take it.
So the question is, could he do what he's doing at LSU if he were still at Arizona State?
I'm gonna say no, and the only reason I'm gonna say no is because he just wouldn't have all the support staff, and that was a problem. I mean, he had he had a lot of good talent around him at Arizona State, but it just wasn't quite enough, and him coming to LSU, it just happened to be a good fit for him. I was shocked when he came because, we had Miles Brennan on the roster. We had – or not Miles Brennan, I'm sorry, Max Johnson on the roster still. Had Garrett Nussmeier. Like, it was just a weird flow. And next thing you know, everything just works out, and boom, here's Jayden Daniels. And I'm very happy with the decision that they made to bring him in, and I think it's helped Garrett Nussmeier overall as a quarterback as well. And the good thing about Nussmeier is he's a team player. So when Nussmeier was in high school, he committed to LSU, and he became a huge recruiter for LSU. He was in everybody's ear saying, hey, come join me, come join me, come join me. And then he gets there, he pretty much loses what he thought was probably going to be his job and willingly sits and waits. He could have went in the portal. And he would be starting probably anywhere he decided to go because he's a very talented kid, decides to ride it out, learn from Jayden, learn from Joe Sloan, who honestly, that man does not get enough credit. Mm-hmm. That man comes in and he has worked with Jayden. Those two have a great relationship. Mike Denbrock's doing great offensive coordinator. And I'm really, really just liking this bond that's there. And Jayden and Garrett, man, they're like really close. You can see it on the field. They have a chemistry with each other. And I think that's going to help Garrett in the future because the only concern I've had about Garrett Nussmeier's entire career at LSU is I feel like he's trigger friendly. So, Chris, you ever went hunting before?
I haven't. I'm not a big hunter.
Okay. Well, you ever shot a gun before, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, I was in the military. I played around with M16s.
All right. So there you go. So think about it. Like when you're aiming at your target, okay? And just before you get that perfect aim on there, you pull the trigger. I feel like that's kind of what Nussmeier's done throughout his career at LSU so far. And it's not a slight to him in any way whatsoever. I just feel like there's so much untouched potential in there. And that, like, once he gets that chill factor, I think it would be an easy transition. Because LSU has quarterbacks coming in. We have some good quarterbacks on the roster behind them. They're not going to jump Nussmeier. And the only way Nussmeier will not be the starting quarterback next year is if some weird thing happens where some crazy stud quarterback just happens to pop up in the portal and I highly doubt that they'll go for that. So I'd say that this transition's going to be really fun. And if Jayden wins a Heisman, you would think that Nussmeier is going to be talked about for it next year for sure.
Obviously. What about your receiving core? Neighbors is back next year, right? He's just a sophomore.
No. Neighbors is gone. He'll be a first-round draft pick. Brian Thomas, I don't know what's going to happen with him because he's also draft eligible. I think I want to say Thomas probably goes because his campaign is just looking good and his stock's improving. I mean, Malik Neighbors first round lock pretty much at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Thomas Jr., I think he's 3rd to 5th round range. Maybe he can sneak into the 2nd round right now. Obviously, you give him a couple more weeks. I mean, that could change. And then with Jayden, I don't know where he sits on the draft boards. I mean, a lot of people have had him like 3rd to 5th round, but I've seen little rumblings online where people are saying, is he creeping into that 1st round picture? Very well could be. I'm not a draft expert. Never will claim to be one. I love to follow it. I love to research everything I can, but I will never claim to be a draft expert because it's just not my cup of tea. But I don't know. I mean, if you were drafting a quarterback of the big names coming out, who would your top 3 be that you would take?
Top 3?
Sure.
Obviously, I've got Drake May in there.
You okay? I'm assuming you got Caleb Williams as well.
Caleb Williams. They've been my top 2 all along.
Sure, rightfully so.
And you put me on the spot.
Do you go Penix? Do you go Bo Nix? Do you go someone from a smaller school? Maybe you go Grayson McCall. Maybe let him sneak in there. Do you go? I mean, there's a lot of people.
I actually think Bo Nix. I think he's your prototypical NFL quarterback.
Absolutely.
Kind of gives me Justin Herbert vibes. If that makes any sense.
I like that comparison. I do. I really do. I say now that he's in a good system, he just looks really comfortable and it's nice to see.
The problem is going to be, where do they end up?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Because right now you're looking at Arizona, the Titans, who just drafted 2 quarterbacks. We're going to find out real soon if either one of them are the answer.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Bears. They're going to end up needing a quarterback probably. Because
I think they found one.
I mean, I think they did too, but are they going to trade him?
I think that backup is their new starter. He started this Sunday.
Who?
Begtrand or something like that.
Oh.
And here, that guy's got a story behind him too. Let me read what he did. Tyson Bagent.
Okay.
This is wild. This cat went to Division School, Shepherd University.
That's crazy.
And was 0-11. Ends up at the Senior Bowl. Talks to the Bears offensive coordinator. They signed him to the UDFA. He wins the backup job behind their starter. And by midseason, he's their starting quarterback. Where did that come from?
That is insane. My gosh. Wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. So, all right. So, I have a graphic I want to share real quick. And this is actually Brian Kelly's statement about the Heisman and everything. And I'll read it. The Heisman has become such a promotional piece and the flavor of the week. I told the guys I've been involved with, look, you're not going to have control over this other than being consistent in the things you do. They're going to have opinions that range from one side to the other. Your focus is consistency and performance. It will take care of itself, Kelly said. Other than that, they'll say, well, you're not playing well enough on defense, which has nothing to do with the Heisman. If that was the case, they should not have given the Heisman to Caleb Williams last year when they lost to Tulane. The fact of the matter is, it's about your consistency and performance, and the rest of the narratives will float from A to Z, and you can't focus on those.
I mean, he's absolutely right.
He is. I mean, that's pretty much. And also, shout out to Zach Nagy from Sports Illustrated for. I went to his article and I snagged some of these quotes from it because he shared the stuff I wanted to share. I was like, all right, and it just works out. I'll share another one as well, and this kind of just shows. This is Jayden Daniels' numbers. We've already kind of discussed those. The Caesar Sportsbook has him at a plus 300 odds right now to win the Heisman. Well, that was as of 3 days ago, which is that's not bad. That's pretty good right there.
Yeah, but some of the guys that got in there, again,
I don't understand
right
that.
now,
I don't get that. I don't know what is he.
that was overnight too. He
Yeah,
wasn't
like
in the top 5 last week, and all of a sudden he's number 1. Where did that come from?
And look, and no disrespect to him because I mean he is a good quarterback. He is. There's no question of that. But I want to know what he has done this year that would set him in the front runner position because I haven't seen anything that he's done that's been impressive. They haven't played a tough schedule yet, unfortunately, and his numbers are just mid-tier quarterback. So I mean, don't get me wrong, his numbers are fine, perfectly fine, like very acceptable, and he's doing great. But when I look at Jayden Daniels' numbers, I'm like,
I think a lot of what's happening is the national narrative is they're trying to keep Daniels buried, and they're bringing out whatever name they can. J.J. McCarthy, Dylan Gabriel. Come on, man. These guys are not legitimate Heisman contenders.
Yeah, I agree. I had to share it. I just had to do it. People want to know. Hey, tune in this Tuesday and find out.
So, Mr. Kenny thinks he's got something on me, and I don't know what he thinks he's got on me, but I've never shied away from answering a question.
I'm about to say you're ready for it. All right, so the Dylan Gabriel. All right, so Dylan Gabriel is a great quarterback, great story. I liked watching him at UCF. His freshman year was special. I mean, it really was. When he hit the scene at UCF, I'm sure you felt the same way. Everybody was just like, what? Who is this guy? Like, how is he doing this? Then he ends up at Oklahoma, and last year obviously wasn't a great year. I mean, that was a very rebuilding year for Oklahoma this year. They come out starting defeated, gets the big win at Texas. My slight at Dylan Gabriel, if you watch that UCF game, I mean, I'm sorry, but he didn't do anything special for me. Like his accuracy was not there. He just didn't look very comfortable, and it was just a strange performance for him. I think he is a fine quarterback. I will never diss the guy. I refuse to do that because I just think he's a fantastic quarterback overall, but he just has not done enough for me to make me say, wow, this guy should be a Heisman Trophy winner. Like, there's only a handful of guys that have made me say that. Obviously, Jayden Daniels being one, Michael Penix Jr. being one, Caleb Williams, not yet. He hadn't made me say that yet this year. Last year, I was impressed with his play. I couldn't hate on that. It was a very talented squad last year. And they're a talented team this year. They have a lot of holes on that team, and I think that once they get everything situated out there, USC, they could win the season fine. That being said, all the people saying for Caleb Williams to sit out the rest of the year, that's not who Caleb Williams is. Caleb Williams is a hard worker. He gets up every day just like you and I, puts his shoes on, goes to practice, busts his butt all day. The man wants to get better. He doesn't want to just sit there and twiddle his thumbs. The man wants to play. He wants the experience. He wants to enjoy his time. I mean, he's literally got the greatest job in the world. He is literally the quarterback for one of the nicest sceneries you could ever find in Southern California at the beach. He can live it up, have a good time. He's freaking neighbors with Hunter Dworsky. I mean, come on. It gets no better than that.
Yeah, but I think Hunter touched on it last night. The NIL factor. These kids, they're all about making the money instead of working hard.
Sure.
My whole opinion on that is go out and earn your NIL.
Absolutely.
It's time for either, if the NCAA is not going to do it and step up and put guardrails on this stuff, Congress is going to have to. We don't want Congress to do that because we see what a brown nugget hole they are and everything else they handle. So NCAA, step up, put the guardrails on there that everybody's asking for. No freshmen get NIL. If you transfer, you lose it. If you leave and go pro, you lose it. You got to have some level of commitment there to earn NIL and not just be handed out.
All right. So, like what Hunter says right here, I don't think he's checked out. I don't buy it. I don't think that's the person he is. I think that Caleb's a hard worker, and I think he's going to do whatever it takes to right the ship out there. I mean, he clearly, when you look at his play on the field, he hadn't given up. He's still giving it his all every play. And I think he's going to ride it out to the end.
I will say this. I saw a different Caleb Williams against Notre Dame and this past weekend than what I saw 3 weeks ago against Arizona.
Yeah.
Completely different mindset, completely different attitude on the field. Against Arizona, he was angry.
Yeah.
And, he was getting in players' faces, chewing ass. I'm just going to say it. He was chewing ass, getting in players' faces. He was fighting to win that ball game.
Yeah.
I didn't see that against Notre Dame. I didn't see that this past week against Utah. And I'm wondering if Hunter doesn't have a point that he might be checking out now.
Maybe so. The one thing, though, I will say, a lot of people were talking about him sitting on the bench at the end of the game. I'm not going to lie to you. I probably would have done the exact same thing because they played pretty dang hard in that game, especially, the offense they really did at the end of that. And I really thought USC had it there. And I think he had his hopes up on that one. And then it all just got taken away.
Yeah.
And there you go. Demon Cat's the key to everything.
Yes, sir.
And like right there, there's a very good chance that he still goes to New York no matter what the outcome. Because at the end of the day, he's not having a terrible season by any means. He's having a great season. Technically being a past winner, he technically already is invited anyway. But I feel like he earned a finalist spot. If his production stays what it is, gotta give him a shot at it. But
so what do you think about the comments that Kyle Whittingham made?
What did he say? You're going to have to read it.
So let me pull this up and read it directly from what he said. I kind of laughed when I read it.
I did see the video of them every time USC would substitute, they'd send their biggest defensive lineman out to eat the clock away. And I was like, that's genius.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Kyle Whittingham had the all-time quote on Saturday night.
Okay.
He was talking about USC. He said, they've got a Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, so they're going to make some things. And that's just the way it is. But we've got ourselves a pig farmer at quarterback, so we're proud of that guy too.
I like that. Hey, you have a comment for you?
Okay.
Oh, they're gonna say what?
Go, Andrew. You got my attention.
But yeah, I feel like we've made our case. I guess let's touch on the last position that could be a competition. I think we wrap it up. So, there's no reason for the show to go 2 hours tonight or anything like that. wide receiver. Who's the biggest threat for him at wide receiver? Malik Neighbors, his own teammate. That gives him his numbers.
Well, don't forget the MHJ.
His numbers are nothing special, though. That's my thing.
But he's got Ohio State sitting there with what might be the best win of the year.
Very true. And he had a great game in that. He was the only good part about that game for Ohio State offensively.
Right.
So he's a very fair person, like, to bring into that conversation. But I just feel like his numbers just so far have just not, I don't know. I mean, I think stats need to matter, but I also understand that your impact matters as well. So, like, would I be opposed to him going to New York? No. Would I be opposed to him being top 3 finalist? No, not at all. I think the Michigan game will decide that, because I don't see Ohio State losing before Michigan personally. I mean, they very well could, but I don't see it happening. But yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, realistically, in my eyes, it's going to be Jayden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr., Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr. I'll just give it to him. Maybe even Malik Neighbors. I think that's your Heisman 5 right there.
That's pretty solid.
I mean, or I guess I'll say that's my Heisman 5. But
that's pretty solid.
Yeah, and I think there's other names that can jump in it. I think Bo Nix can jump in it again. I think that J.J. McCarthy, he could potentially solidify himself. You know what? Oh, my gosh, yes. I feel like an idiot right now. Luther Burden. Oh, my gosh. Cody Schrader. Those are 2 guys that, going down the stretch, you know what? I'll say it too. Missouri goes and beats Georgia, and it's because of Luther Burden, or if it's because of Cody Schrader, those 2 guys will be on the Heisman list after that, 100%. And I'm very sad that Missouri lost out on a 5-star recruit today. He actually committed to Texas, of all places. And everybody thought he was a lock, even though his brother had I can't remember his first name, last name Wingo, but his brother actually played at Arkansas years ago. And so I was thinking, why ain't he going to be a hog? And then when I hear Mizzou, I'm like, okay, it kind of makes sense. And then, bam, goes to Texas. Money talks. So, yeah, right here. There you go.
So, everybody knows who Demon Cat is.
Oh, yeah.
So, shall we introduce the predecessor to Demon Cat?
Yes.
So, we like to talk about our pets every once in a while. And I had a rescue cat that I rescued when it was a kitten. It was homeless. I saved its life. I kept this thing for 9 years. It was a lilac Siamese. And if you don't know what a lilac Siamese is, it's white and gray instead of brown and black.
Oh.
I had this cat tested to ensure that it was a purebred lilac Siamese, and it came back 99% Siamese.
Wow.
And one of the things about it is a true Siamese cat will have cross-eye, and they will have blue eyes. And no, Andrew, it's not Demon's mom, but when you see this dude is the quintessential. Everything you hear in Demon Cat is exactly what this cat was. And if this cat looked at you cross-eyed, oh my God, you were done. But let me introduce you to Mr. Simcon.
I remember that cat. I sure do.
He looks angry.
He really does. I don't know how I forgot about that.
I had to throw that out there a little bit.
Absolutely.
That was my buddy.
Oh, for sure. So, Chris, you got any closing remarks for tonight?
Closing remarks? Yes. Jayden Daniels is a top 3 Heisman contender and will be in New York City. Anyone that denies that or says that it's not true or that he's not worthy doesn't know football.
I like it. I think my closing remarks will be simply this. Jayden for Heisman. Simple as that. I mean, you don't get no better than that. I mean, that's some great stats to have. It's been a heck of a year for him so far, and honestly, man, I'm very excited as to what the rest of the season holds for him. 2 weeks he has Bama. Bring it on. Let's see where it goes from there.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, everybody. Well, we definitely appreciate your time tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, Jayden for Heisman. I don't see any better way to put it. I'm sorry, I'm getting thrown off by this music right now because I just picked a random song to be our playout music, and definitely threw me off. But
Okay.
we will see you. We'll see you Friday night for the Golden Boot. Feel free to hit us up. Let us know what your thoughts on the show tonight. Let us know maybe some. I am going to make one request to everybody. I'm going to pause this song for that request. All right, let me get this little graphic off so I can talk to the people real quick. All right, this Friday night on our show. If you haven't liked us on Facebook, we are the Golden Boot Podcast. You can't miss us. It's there, logo at the top of the screen. Just find that. You'll find us. That's the best way to find us on Facebook. Feel free to message us, whatever you want to do. That's fine. All right. I have said that we get 2,000 live viewers, I will do a giveaway. I said I would do 10 autograph card giveaway. Last week we came close, but did not quite reach that. But we came very, very close. This week's going to be different. I know we can do it. Rally together. So come like our page, share our show. If you share our show, that's an entrant. You're entered into the contest. There will be great cards in there that are signed. Heck, I may even throw a baseball or football, and you never know. I have a lot of autograph memorabilia, and it don't bother me to get rid of some of it from time to time. I want to hook up a cool fan that would appreciate it, and we definitely want you guys to come watch. This Friday night is going to be a special show for us. It's going to be I guess you could kind of say it's our first show into our new transitional phase. So definitely want you to come and join us. We're going to have a lot of good stuff to talk about. We definitely want you to come like the Facebook page, share it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Golden Sports Media. Just come hang out with us. We're ready to chat sports all day. If you're a college baseball fan, come join the group College Baseball Smack. All we like to do is talk smack about baseball. I mean, we really don't actually hate on people in there anymore like we used to. We really just go and just talk baseball.
Except for Hal.
Yeah, Hal's different, but he kind of vanishes from time to time, which, I mean, rightfully so, considering how, Mississippi State is. And also, shout out to College Sports Villains. Andrew runs a great show, super entertaining, fun to listen to, makes some of the best graphics on social media. You definitely need to find his page on there. I believe he has a group as well. Look up College Sports Villains. You can't miss them. Just very entertaining stuff. They even have a GoFundMe set up for Kenny Ingram to get him a laptop. I mean, they don't get no better than that. Great people.
But is that his real name?
What's that?
Is it actually Kenny Ingram, or is it Larry Redding, or is it the Eagle, or what is his real name?
I think he's the kitty cat.
We just know that we're trying to get this poor cat a laptop so that we don't have to look up his nostrils anymore.
Exactly. That's all
I'm just telling you, there's some ugly stuff up there.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't miss it when he's that close to the screen.
Absolutely. So shout out to George for jumping on here tonight. Shout out College Football Dawgs for giving us a platform to be on. We really enjoy our time with these guys. It's been a fun show tonight. Shout out Second to None, Michael Spencer. Man, we always like having him around, and we love working with him. That great show comes on Sundays. Chris is on there more than I am. I try to be on there when I can, but having kids and long story. But anyway, go to Second to None. They have a group on Facebook. Very good group. It's SEC Talk. You can meet some very good, like-minded people on there. go join them. Go like the College Football Dawgs page. Go check out their store. Some new merchandise will be coming soon, actually. So be ready for that drop. I think that's really all I got to say. So we appreciate you guys coming out. Have a good evening, and we'll see you Friday night.
Looking forward to it.